And we're
Hey,
live. And live here, coming to you from YouTube or wherever you may be watching us. So, welcome, y'all. Thank you for joining us on our Player Pass show. And we are going to talk about two movies today: A Quiet Place and Fresh. So, I'll start with asking everybody on the panel, how's everybody doing today? Andrew?
Good, good. Just enjoying a beer.
All right, beer. And did you have snow last week?
No, just rain.
Okay.
Oh,
I
We're
knew
supposed to have snow.
because
I
there were
got
some
stuck with it all.
some parts of your country got snow. I remember seeing some pictures.
Yeah, I think the end of the week probably get some more.
Well, we had a dusting, and I say a dusting, the other day, and that's about it. And Alban, you get plenty of it.
I got well. I don't think it's as bad as everyone makes it out to be, but I didn't go outside. You know, I refuse to go out there because I'm not shoveling that crap. But I hate snow. I absolutely hate it. But we got maybe I don't know 15, 16, I think, inches.
Inches.
Yeah,
Holy smokes!
yeah.
Good grief, man! I wouldn't be leaving for weeks.
Well, there are people that got like 3 feet.
Oh Jesus, yeah, that's
In
that's
some
end
parts
that's
of
end
Jersey.
times. That's end times kind of
Well,
snow.
not compared to those people that like Eddie up in Canada there.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, I talked to Blue about it, and she's like,
You know
it's not a big deal.
how much did she get?
I don't know. I just
Oh,
know
okay.
she's a lot.
Well,
But
you should be taking tally of those types of things because you're going to be
it's
living in that.
it's kind of like you ever have like an operation and there's something scary about it and you're like you don't know what's gonna happen. It's just best if you don't know. Don't go research it on YouTube before you get there. You
Well,
just go into it blind because if you find out, then you start. Oh, I don't know if I can handle that.
oh
So
boy, just
yeah.
think about what was that movie there with Jack Nicholson, Red Rum.
Bad
That's
rum.
that's gonna be you up there.
Yeah, it's gonna be. We'll see how it goes. I'm gonna use the excuse. I can't go to work. There's snow on the ground. I'll see you in April.
Well, no, that don't cut it with them up there.
No, that's all right. It's all good. Blue's not going to be on the show, you guys. Blue's not going to be on. She's having some water issues at her house, some water leak. So she's doing some maintenance work, trying to get all the water up. So she won't be on the show, and she said she apologized, but she won't be on. So, so I see we've got Roger over there in the side chat. Patty, nice to see you, Patty. The Beach, nice to see you. Nice, Octavia, Eddie, nice to see both of you too. So we got our regular crew hanging over in on the show, and so we got two movies today. We've got Fresh and A Quiet Place. So do either one of you have a preference of going first?
I'll go last.
I don't care.
Andrew looked like he was ready to get a fight on there. Did you see that?
Yeah,
he was like all like this, like he was ready to fight it out.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm trying to stop my microphone rubbing against my beard.
You're gonna have to do a little cutout,
Yeah, I got the same issue. Big old beard getting in the way. So, all right. So you'll let. Was it Andrew? Or which one was going to be first? So I know which one.
Andrew will go first.
Andrew will go first. So that'd be A Quiet Place. So let me jump. We'll share that. And as you guys know, what we like to do is we'll talk about both these movies, and then at the end of that discussion, we will put out the links and invite you guys to jump in on the show. Let us know. And also, while we're talking about it, feel free to post in your thoughts or comments along the side chat. If I see them, I'll pull them to the front screen. But today's show is probably going to be a little bit shorter. There's three of us, so that's less people. And so we'll be able to run through these, I think, pretty quickly. So A Quiet Place, 2018. Let's see, that would be Andrew's pick. So you're able to be first or last on that, Andrew.
I'll go last. I went first last time, so I'll go last
Okay.
this time.
All right. All right.
You want me to go first then?
Sure, you can go. Jump on it.
Okay.
So, Quiet Place.
A Quiet Place. It was quiet, all right. The silence, it just it brought out the anxiety in you. You know what I mean? You watch this movie and you're like, oh, come on, no, oh my God, when to see days going by and word not being spoken. It really got you going. It got me going, actually. I don't even know where to start with. Great cast.
Mm-hmm.
John Krasinski there. He was really pretty good. It killed me that I wasn't seeing it coming, that we'd be losing him towards in the end of the movie. But I just couldn't understand, like, why just get underground. If you get underground, and how these things are gonna get at you. You know what I mean? The thought of her having a kid in the middle of all that, I really would have wanted to know what was the original plan, if things weren't going to be so screwed up for them, on how she was planning on having the kid.
Yeah, I tried to figure that. I was like, but I guess there wasn't no birth. Not like they run it down the store and get birth control.
Right. And stepping on that nail, forget it. I almost I just about lost it. I thought that since nobody could speak, no one was going to say anything about the nail, and someone else will step on it, and scream, like the daughter. Well, the daughter couldn't scream anyhow.
Yeah,
she would have made some noise.
That's terrible. I'm sorry.
Oh man, but otherwise, I thought it was a pretty good movie, because I didn't watch it before, because I'm really not big on horror, because the last thing I need is my heart beating out of its chest, but it was interesting. It really was. All right.
Okay.
Dad?
All right. I'd seen this when it first came out, and I watched it. What is his name? John. What was it? John Krasinski.
Yeah.
When I see him, I think of The Office, because he was in The Office, and you've seen him in that type of role.
I think of Chuck.
And I really enjoyed this. I can't call it a horror movie. It's a thriller or a suspense, because there's really not that much horror going on in this. Definitely suspense. The music, beautiful job on the music score to convey that feeling and that nervousness, and that without words being spoken, because words were only spoken a handful of times in the movie. There were when he and his son went fishing and they went to the waterfall, they talked. But just a few places where they were able to talk. Emily Blunt, beautiful. And I'm thinking, what a lucky guy to be hooked up with her and have to stay there. And I thought it was real romantic when she went dancing and they put the earbuds in and they were dancing quietly. I thought that was really when they lost their son at day 89, and that they go into town, and on their way back from town, the son gets a loud noise toy that the daughter had let her brother hold, and he puts the batteries in it, and that creature comes by and just And that scarred the family. I thought that set the tone with the relationships between like the father and the daughter, because he was struggling with the loss of his son, and he kind of blamed her, because if she wouldn't give him that toy, then there's all that what ifs. I thought it was very interesting how they put sand to not step on, I guess, leaves or rocks. They put that sand down. I thought that was a really neat idea. And so I really thought that was neat. Walking around barefooted, that was another thing. Walking around barefooted. I thought to myself, why ain't they wearing some sneakers? Ain't that's what they're called, sneakers? You could sneak around if you had some sneakers on. I just thought barefoot, why don't you do some things? Blue said one thing to me, and since she's not here, I'll say it to her. She said that she says in the movie, you almost don't even know if your sound is turned on, because the movie's so quiet at places that you think your surround system is not getting its workout on this one. That's for sure. But I thought that through the motions in the sign language, I really liked the sign language. I thought that was a really neat way of, you could tell what they were saying, and and like when the daughter was saying no, like when he wanted to put that new device on, and she's like, no, stop it. And
what I want to know is, how did the little one even know the sign language?
Yeah. Well, I guess the same way that you learn any language, you learn it as soon as you are born, and you're immersed in it. So
like the newborn baby not screaming.
Well, yeah, the newborn baby was a whole nother deal. That was neat. Her having a silent labor. Okay. I've never had a baby. I've been there for 2. The silent labor, and I understand the fear for your life, and so I'm thinking that would be something else. She was by herself. That was the prep work that the father had done was great. I thought that the movie was good. The movie, it's not a horror movie. Like I said, I wouldn't call it a horror movie. I would just call it suspenseful. Because it had you in that suspense feeling all the time, that nervous. I'm wondering what they're going to do with the second one. Of this.
Yeah, there's a second one.
That comes out this year.
Yeah.
So wonder what they're going to do with that. And what? All right. So what I thought to myself. So whenever the thing was listening, didn't it like open up its head and it was listening real hard? Because it had super hearing. And I'm thinking that's when you shoot that mug. As soon as it opens its head, shoot it. And if you looked at some of the things, it said, like some of the newspapers, it said impervious or can't kill or this or that. And I'm thinking, okay, all you gotta do is wait for it to open its head. Then it's exposed.
Yeah.
And that was when the mom shot that thing. And I'm like, yeah, that's what you need. And I didn't know why they didn't do it longer to make its head blow up. I thought that was neat, though, with the sound.
Yeah.
So I liked it. Thriller. I thought that was again, for people that are not horror flicks fans, this is great because it's not a horror flick. You don't really see, other than when she steps on the nail, you see blood, and you see blood when she gives birth. Well, where she had been when she gave birth, and then you saw that old woman that had been attacked, I guess, and that old man kind of face he was making, and
chin just disappeared.
Yeah, they just kind of tore up, and he's like, you can see it, and I'm thinking, and the dad, ran with the son because he knew that when the old man screamed, that would be the end of it. So great. I thought that so many horror movies or thrillers are all the same, cookie cutter. This was different, completely different. And you're right about going down under the ground. If you saw some of the newspaper clippings, it said go underground, and some of them said that. And that would be probably a good option. But you got to come out for food.
No, well,
I mean, unless you have
yeah.
a plan where you're able to grow all your food or however,
Mhm.
that's going to go kind of so. So great movie. Shrinking Sharon says, no way. They would have killed me during the birth. Yeah. And I'm thinking, dang. I mean, girl she had some power. She had
Uh-huh.
some, I don't want to say some balls, but she had some power to not make a
Yeah.
noise when going through that labor. So good movie. I enjoyed it. That's all I got.
Okay.
And Andrew?
Awesome. Definitely, it's definitely not a horror. It's a thriller.
Yeah.
like I've always seen it as a thriller anyway. So, and the childbirth thing. I think it's amazing what you can do when you when your life's like on the line.
Yeah,
To be
but the
fair, it was
baby's
quite.
coming out not knowing,
I
you know.
no, I totally understand that. I think it was realistic though because
Yeah.
she didn't just she didn't have a silent birth because she screamed her lungs out when
Yeah.
the baby was coming, and that's when they set the fireworks off. That's
Yeah.
what the fireworks was for, really, I
Mhm.
suppose. But yeah, when I first watched this movie, I got like through the first 10, 15 minutes, and I thought, wow, this is really quiet. Like I probably should have guessed it from the title. But, so I kind of like stopped watching it. But then it came on Netflix, and I thought, you know what, I'll give it a second chance. I like Emily
Mhm.
Blunt.
Yeah.
So I'll give it a second chance, and I watched it again, and I watched it all the way through, and I just thought, do you know what? It's not like the best thriller I've ever seen, but it's got so much potential for for how quiet it was for the whole movie, and like you said, Todd, with the sign language, that was the only means of communication, and watching it back, when she's teaching the son, uh, like maths and stuff like that, when they're doing the math schoolwork and stuff, you can when she's signing to him, you can hear her whispering silently. You can hear what she's saying, but I just think the potential in the movie, like that's why I'm glad they're doing a part two because I think there was a lot of potential for a lot more jump scares and a lot more like the 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 way they acted, it just gave them a different dimension to the whole to the characters. I don't know how to explain it, but I just thought Emily Blunt, the way she acted, and she didn't hardly have she spoke like near the end after they had the baby. I just like you could just see like how prepared they were, and you could just see how much they cared for the kids. And I think I don't know if it was you, Todd, or Oberyn said that the father blamed the daughter for for the little boy's death. I don't think he did, but I mean, well, he didn't because he did say to the son when they were at the river, when the son says to him, "Oh, she thinks you blame her," and he's like, "Oh no, I don't blame
So
her.
you don't
It
love
was
her.
nobody's fault."
You don't love her. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't love her. Which is a key part of the movie, and that's why I'm glad they used the speech part, like the part that one of the only parts where they talk. Is obviously I'm glad they used that bit for the father saying that he did love her, and that and then the son saying, "Well, you should tell her." And obviously that leads up to the bit at the end when the monster's trying to get them in the truck, and he does the "I love you," and then he's like, I've always loved you," and like that, just like kind of like, oh, bless him,
Yeah, I was kind of
and then
choked
you
up
could
with that. I
see
was
the
like,
yeah, and you could see how much you could see how much he loved these kids as well when he did the scream because you could just see it in his face. He knew what was coming, but he did it because he didn't want his kids to get harmed. Um, and I liked how they didn't show him die as well. I mean, obviously you know he died, but like they didn't have to show him get killed, which was a nice touch.
Yeah.
The thing, the thing about going underground, to be fair, they were going underground. They were building that underground thing in
Sure.
the barn.
oh,
They
stellar,
actually,
yeah.
I mean, well, yeah, they actually they stayed in like the basement. I think it was like the basement
A
of the
basement.
house. Yeah, I mean, because if you like, obviously when they're playing Monopoly with the and they've got just the felt, they're using the felt things for the pot things, and they knock the fire over. He's looking out the window and he's like looking, kind of like looking up,
Hmm.
because they're not in the house, like just in. I know they've got rooms in the house, but they're not actually in the house. They are trying to be like underground. And obviously you can see them. They're doing the paper mache at night, and that the kids are pasting the paper to the wall and stuff to make it soundproof. I did think it was a bit silly that they just had a mattress over the top of the entrance.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that was gonna cover the noise.
I
mean, I
would have
guess-
put a door there because those things don't have thumbs. They can't open the door.
All right, did you
know?
see it went through the grain mill? It went through the grain tower. I don't think it needed
Yeah.
a door. It was gonna find us. It made it right through the grain tower. Like,
I mean, yeah. I understand the whole point of having the mattress there is like it's because it's soundproofing, but maybe it's like attach the mattress to a big big sheet of steel or something like that, and have that as a proper lid to keep down on. I don't know. It was funny.
You see
that
how
it
they
was
had
just a mattress.
pillows? They had. Did you see the pillows that were like in the rafters, or when
Yeah.
they were down there? It was like,
Yeah.
so yeah, they were trying to make it deafening it up.
They made like the little coffin for the baby for the new.
That was
road.
almost kind of depressing, though.
Yeah, but they had obviously they had the air thing and stuff for it. The only thing I questioned about their choices, I mean, because I have read reviews on this before, and I know that people have said there's a lot of plot holes in the movie. But I didn't really look at it as a movie about the aliens or whatever it is. I didn't really care about them too much. I just liked the relationship between the father and the daughter, and I liked to see how this family was like trying to cope through a world where you can't talk. And that scene where the little boy gets killed. When I first saw that, I was like, "Oh my god!" Because you're not expecting like the little child to get to be basically one of the only victims in the movie. Is the little kid. He's got his little spaceship. And obviously he knows the sign language because his sister's deaf. She's always been deaf, so obviously that's how they've learned the sign language anyway. So it just turned out to come in handy for them anyway because they knew it. And you could see how much the father loved the daughter as well, because he spent a lot of time in the basement he was learning about the human ear, and he was trying to fix her earpiece so she could hear again. And he must have went through thousands of them, and obviously he doesn't let her go down. Which I didn't understand why he didn't let her go down, because I think all he had down there was he was learning how to make the thing, and he had the radio where he was checking the different stations to try and get in touch with people, and then he had the cameras. I don't know what he was trying to keep from her, so that bit was a bit confusing when he wouldn't let her go down there.
Yeah.
Maybe he didn't want her to see how many earpiece things
Feel
he was
the tips he
working
had.
on,
Well, yeah. I just I think I'm really hopeful for the part 2. I think they can do a lot more, because near the end, near the end was when it got quite good, which was a shame that it was near the end that it got good.
Yeah.
But if you just follow it, obviously watching it the first time, you can overlook a lot of stuff. But if you're watching it this second or third or whatever time, you start to just get involved a bit more in the story, what they're trying to tell, and not just it's these aliens have came and they don't, and it's kind of not about that. It's about the relationships and people coping in that type of environment. And I think because it's silence all the way through, which actually quite liked that it was silence all the way through, and it gave them more chances for jump scares, which unfortunately they didn't do too many of. Which is where the potential comes in. They could do more. Hopefully, they do more of that in the second part, because that's where the potential for a proper thriller and proper scary parts can be, and then they can just continue the story they were telling before. So hopefully part 2 and maybe a part 3 if the part 2 is good, gives you a little bit more jump scares and pulls people in a bit more to because living in a world where you can't talk, and it would be scary. You would,
can't make any noise. I mean, not even talk is you can't even make noise.
Yeah, the slightest bit of noise attracts these things, because obviously you can see and when you said, Todd, where when the head's open, I did think, well, that's the most exposed when the whole head opens, and obviously they can't be shot because that skin must be the outer skin must be some sort of armor. That's why he's got it written down on the whiteboard, armor. He's trying to find a weakness. and the hella
That was
fast.
like that was when its ear when it was like listening really hard.
Mhm.
Yeah, and the high frequency pitch from her
Mhm.
earpiece is what affected it. But I think because it's so fast and they attack so fast, it's not as easy as just saying, well, as soon as its head's open, shoot it.
Mhm.
Because that's so quick. It's like, what's the chances of you getting it before it gets you?
Well,
Um,
it's simple. You set a trap. You could build a bit. Well, it's not. It's hard to build something there now,
Yeah.
but I would. I know, right? But I would at least be put speakers out all over the all over the place and crank something up.
Well,
That would disturb them so much.
yeah, and I
yeah, but
mean, and
they didn't
they had.
know. They didn't,
You know.
Go ahead. No, go ahead, Andrew.
no, I know I'm always behind everybody with a speech.
Just a little bit.
Because like you're across the pond and they didn't know what the weakness was until the end, like literally till the very
Yeah.
end. They
Yeah.
didn't know what the weakness was, so the
Mhm.
last thing they want to do is put speakers up and make a lot of noise. That's just going to attract more, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, because he was. You saw how he had
How
written
many?
how many was in around. He was like
Mhm.
3, and so he
Yeah,
was
and that's
tracking
just
how
3 that he
many.
knew of.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
so
I do like how they had the fires. So they would see their neighbors. Remember each night, and
yeah,
that to me also showed the resilience of each of the people, and because they all lit a fire at the exact same time, so you'd see how many families were still alive.
Mhm.
yeah, and that's like the scary thing as well, because you could see all those different fires going up, but they're so far away. I mean, they're not so far away, but like to the point where because they're in like a forest, like near woods and
Yeah.
stuff like that. It's the last thing you want to do is go and walk through, um, go and walk through the woods when those things are out there to try
Mhm.
and find whoever you're going to find, and you don't know who they are or what. Because with these like type of post-apocalyptic movies, everyone's for themselves, aren't they? If
Mhm.
anyone's ever watched Walking Dead, which probably most
Yeah,
people have, the humans are worse than the bloody
yeah,
zombies and that thing. So like
yeah.
I don't think I can ever recall a season where the humans that they've bumped into haven't been like fucking cannibals or some sort of murderous gang or something like that. It's never just
Mhm.
like, oh, it's another fellow group of nice people who just want to survive. No, it's like I
What do
felt
they
sorry
have
for
that I can take?
Yeah.
that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You knew like that guy, that poor guy. His wife's obviously been ripped
Yeah,
in half. It was
Mhm.
funny how his chin just kind of like disappears because of his beard.
Mhm.
I felt like I think it was a bit. He still was obviously he was devastated, but he seemed a bit self. It still seemed a bit selfish, like because he's like he knows there's a kid there and he's just happily gonna scream
Mhm.
yeah.
to get
Well, but I
like
also
obviously
think
him.
he was like, you know what? There's no reason to live if my
Mhm.
Well,
my
that's
wife
it.
is
That's it.
gone.
Yeah, he could have been at breaking point. You don't know what he
Yeah,
had been through.
he's
So
like, I'm done. I'm
it's
done.
Mhm. Maybe he was
yeah. I
gonna have a
mean,
baby.
yeah.
uh,
I think the two major things I would question about the movie is just like one would be why on earth would they have another baby during this whole thing when like
Mhm.
that's one of the loudest things they could bring into the
Yeah.
world, this little baby. And the other thing is, where the hell did he get all that sand for to make those sand paths?
yeah. That's another. Yeah, yeah,
So my thinking on that is either he's done it himself, which would be totally unrealistic, or um, it's not like other people have done the same thing and they've made these paths for people to walk through, which would make more sense. But where's the sand coming from? Where's all that sand coming from? Because it's not like they're living next to a beach.
Mhm.
I didn't see a beach. It looked like in the mountains. Like maybe
And you
I
see
was thinking
him,
like Pennsylvania or something.
yeah, you see him putting the sand down for when him and the son are going to go fishing. And he's only got a little bag of sand, so like that's not going to get far, is it? That's not even going to get off the farm that they're on.
Yeah,
So
that's
yeah,
like
that's
4 or 5
that's
feet.
the major thing. That's the major gripe I had about it. But yeah, I liked it because I can see the potential it's got, and I just hope that part two, hopefully when it comes out, they can do a little bit more with like the jump scares and because I enjoyed the acting. I really did enjoy the acting from all of them. I didn't think anyone was out of place, so yeah, that's why I liked it, and that's why I picked it. And I'm done.
Good pick. Good pick. All right, so we've got well, there's only 3 of us, so we've pretty much covered this one. And like I said, what we're gonna do is we'll go through the next movie. After the next movie, which is Fresh, post what you think on the chat. And what we'll do is at the end, I'll post the link, and you guys are more than welcome to join, and then you can talk about both the movies or one of the movies, whichever one that you want to talk about. And we'll go with that. So next one. So we got that out of the way. Let me go ahead and close that.
Change the banner.
Yep. If I can pick yeah, I got it, boss. I got it.
And you guys could vote out on Telegram. I posted a poll.
Shut up before I stab you.
Fletcher Montoya.
All right. So we got Fresh. Yeah. So this is Alban's movie. And Alban, you can, since you picked this movie, 1994, you can be first or last, whichever you want to be with this one.
I'll go last.
You want to go last? Okay. Can I be first?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, all right. Yeah. I want to say this movie, and I know you picked this movie because we just did a movie with chess. And I see that there was the relationships between chess on that one and then this one. Alban, in all fairness, I had to take a break halfway through the movie.
After watching it, or
no, halfway through the movie. Halfway, I had to take a let me just walk away, because I'm like, when I start doing this, I'm like, how much more time has this movie got?
Oh wow. I'm sorry.
No, it's all good. A little bit depressing, a little bit down. I had a difficult time locking into it. I understood that the kid was struggling with a lot of things. The kid was smart, and I did like that part, and that part helped me. I'm like, that kid's smart. He was I don't want to see he wasn't swindling or, but he was smart. You see, he was hiding his money, doing all that stuff. Great thing. His little hoodlum buddy, I didn't like him from start. Talking all the street lingo and all that stuff. I'm like, whatever. I mean, you're a wannabe. I mean, it was just terrible. And so it bothered me, the dog scene.
Yeah, I know. I forgot completely about that.
Right.
I'm sorry.
So, right. The dog fighting scene where they fought was, I didn't like that. Now, I'll tell you this. Blue didn't watch this movie. She was going to watch it on Monday, and I finished it on Monday. And I said, don't watch that movie. Because I know her. And I mean, she can't kill a spider. And that is the truth. She can't kill a spider. I said, don't watch this movie. I said, we'll talk about it. You can skip this movie. You figure out what you got to do. I said, but no, this is going to bother you. And I knew it would. She would be lost after that. Then the part after his little buddy died and he shoots the dog.
Yeah.
Hangs the dog and then shoots the dog. So I'm supposed to pull for this kid. I'm supposed to root for him, right? I'm supposed to. He is the main character of the movie. He is who I get behind. He's the one I'm rooting for because he's been dealt a bad deal. His mama's not in the scene. All the bad, all these things. When he did that, lost me. If he would have let the dog loose or did whatever, just let the dog go, or like say if he tied the dog up on a pole and walked away, I wouldn't have had an issue. When he hung the dog and then shot the dog, and that bothered me. That I didn't like him after that. And after that, I looked at him in a different way. Maybe that's what the director wanted me to look at him in a different way. Maybe they wanted me to see him in a different way. And once that happened, I did look at him differently, because when he sat up on the hood of the car, when he set in motion the murders and the people being killed, he set it all in motion, because he set that all in motion, sat on the hood to watch it, eating a candy bar, like he was at the movies. I'm like, I understand that he's been dealt a bad deal or whatever, but I'm like, I'm supposed to root for this kid? I'm looking, I need humanity in somebody. And it's like, he's lost it all. And maybe that's what the director's looking for. That bothered me in a lot of ways. But I will say this. I understand why chess played into this movie. And that was because in some of the things that Samuel L. Jackson says about losing chess pieces, and I thought to myself, that's what that kid's thinking. These are chess pieces. He had thought out from, and we think about last week's movie, Searching for Bobby Fischer. Searching for Bobby Fischer, where the remember the teacher says, look out, see all the moves. See all the moves. Before you make a move, see them all. This kid had thought out all the things. And then I thought, wait a minute. So he on purpose got his little friend shot?
Yeah.
Because he got his friend shot and killed on purpose. And he let his friend. And then I'm like, wait a minute. That's why he didn't mind his friend running his mouth at school.
Right. He did it on purpose.
He did all those things on purpose. So he had numerous people killed on purpose. So in the end,
he knew he could get out with his sister.
And I'm like, I can't root for that kid.
Listen,
I can't root for him. I can't, because it just.
Even if you think about the life that he was living, that, you know, he couldn't even have an inch for himself in life. You know, no one touched this board. That's all he wanted. No one to touch his board. He didn't have anything. You know, he's living there with his cousins or whatever.
She was taking care of a bunch of kids.
Yeah, you know, and so he was getting no love from nobody.
Yeah, I guess, like I said, the part when he shot his dog or shot that dog.
I know.
That I was like, did we need to see that? And I guess maybe it was showing how cold he had gotten. I didn't mind him setting this guy up. I didn't mind, because you could see this guy was out for himself, and he was a loose cannon. You knew that. So it's like, I didn't mind him setting that guy up. Didn't mind that. I didn't mind him setting up some of the other drug dealers, like this dude shooting up him. I didn't mind him doing that. I don't know. It just, I didn't understand the part. Why would you have to show that part in
I think that is you know, he's lost so much. And let's say, for example, with the little girl that he really liked.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes. Yep.
And she gets shot. So that's just another thing in life that was taken away from him, that he he couldn't do anything about. So I feel that he sat back and thought about, well, you know, he had to come up with a plan, because he knew that, you know, where he was, it wasn't gonna be any good for him. And
I mean, he saved. Look at all that money he had done saved up.
Yeah, and he gave it all up to save his sister. It's not like he got that money back.
Which I didn't get that. When it first happened, I didn't understand that. But then, because I just thought he was just trying to front for the drug dealer and this and that. But I can see that. But I'm thinking, as much money you got, money save. You got all that money. You're going to be able to get out. You're going to be able to get out, and you could have got out and got some type of a fresh start. But and again, the chess moves, because he had all that laid out so perfectly. Like every step he was on it, and you don't see that till the end. So I understood that part, but I guess when we talk about buying into characters, we've talked about that on the show, that you have a connection. You care about that character. You want that character to do well, and you don't want something to happen. And I think about, when we did the Wonder Woman, and I said last week or a couple weeks ago, I wouldn't care if every single character died in the show because I had no ownage. I didn't have no connection with no characters. This, it's like, now I don't even want to deal with you because of that. And maybe it's because of my background. It's hard for me to see somebody doing that, and it's hard for me to understand it. So it was a hard watch. Not a lot of action going on. Not a lot. But I guess even in the end of the movie, I didn't feel good. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
I didn't feel good. Like, hey, he won all that. He got this drug dealer thrown in jail. He got his sister. I wasn't even happy on that part. I was not even happy for that. I'm thinking, damn, you done shot and choked your dog. First he chokes the dog, like hanging him. And then she was like, dang, that's some cold ass shit. And then I thought to myself when I said about the chess pieces, and I'm thinking, wait a minute, he got his best friend killed. Which I guess he wasn't his best friend because he got him killed.
He wasn't his best friend, no, because you got to think about
Who is your best friend then? Nobody.
Right, he didn't have a best friend. He couldn't trust nobody. He's from the street.
Yeah,
I guess I didn't.
He did have a best friend.
Who?
His dad.
Oh.
Yeah, Samuel L. Jackson. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, that's all I got. I'm sorry, Alban. I'm not busting balls. I struggle.
I try to put movies out there that people haven't seen.
And I don't mind. And that's the thing with you guys. And it's not about always having to. We always have to like every movie. I wondered where it was trying to go and what it was trying to convey in some of this movie, and what message it was trying to give you. Well, I'm trying to laugh. I'm gonna try to think, because we watch all kinds of movies here. So Dalton says great directing, and Dalton also wrote in here. I think I understand why the callousness, and maybe, ends justifies the means. Again, I didn't mind the drug dealers dying. I didn't, but because you could see the scumbagginess of some of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, did the dog have to die?
No, I know. And the thing is, because remember, between him and Chucky, about the dog, and he said to Chucky, "No, it's my dog. I don't want you to do this to the dog."
Yes.
And then to have to go and do that because maybe for one, he knew he wasn't going to be around, and he didn't want to just let the dog loose on anyone, because the dog would have just tore someone up.
Yeah, the dog had already done tasted blood.
Right. Yeah. So he would have let that dog out on the street. The dog would have went at somebody.
Yeah. I guess the choking it first then hanging it is like, man.
Yeah. I
really?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
So yeah. All right. Hey, all right. So Mr. Andrew, your thoughts on it, sir?
Well, I can see why Auburn picked it. And I feel like Todd. I feel like you maybe would have liked this movie a bit more if it didn't have that scene with the dog. Which, by the way, I hated the scene with the dog. I just didn't get it. I didn't get why he couldn't just let it go loose. They found it as a stray. Why couldn't they just let it go back to being a stray? Why did he have to kill the dog? And also the scene, actually showing the dog get shot.
Yeah,
I didn't get it. I didn't. That was a sour part of the movie. So I agree with you on that. That could have just been without, but kind of was. They kind of did a prelude up to it because I thought the dog was going to die in the dog fight. To be honest.
Yeah, of course we did, but it ended up winning.
Yeah, so I kind of like that was like a foreshadowing moment, really, wasn't it? But yeah, obviously, I wasn't expecting what actually happened. But getting away from the dog for a second, and back to the actual
Sorry.
movie. No, no, I understand. I understand. It's not like it's a bit of a weird thing to have in the movie. To be honest, I didn't need to be there. Um, the kid, I agree with what you're saying, Todd. I like it was hard to get behind this kid because yes, I could see the story that the director and the whoever wrote the screenwriter was trying to tell. This poor kid, he's mixed up in the world of drugs. He just wants to be. He's adopted. He's living with his auntie and all these other cousins and sis. Is it just him and his sister, or are the rest of them just cousins?
They're
I
supposed to
couldn't
be
really tell.
cousins,
Well, I think.
Yeah,
Well, I don't know if they were
but
actually
I
family.
don't even think that they were all really family. But let's just call them
yeah. I
cousins
think it was just.
because
I kind
she
of think
had
it was
10
just him.
kids in there.
Yeah. So yeah, you could see that he's had a tough life. His mother's not around. His father is a drunk, obviously. But he still looked up to his father, and he still went to see him, and they played chess, which I thought was so. I did have a little chuckle that we always seem to have movies like we unintentionally pick movies that have got a link to the movie that we watched the week before.
Mhm.
There always seems to be that link, and even this one references Bobby Fischer, which I found it was hilarious when they're in the caravan and Samuel L. Jackson says, "Oh, and he's going on about Bobby Fischer, and they're all waiting for him to come back like some sort of messiah." And he's like, I would just like, he goes, I would just like destroy his ass as well or something like that, because he's saying he'd beat he's like got 3 different tables up, and he's playing 2 different professionals, and then he's playing himself, and he's like. The only thing I didn't get was like he said he'd been playing the same games for however many years.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Was it 20 or I don't know how many years?
yeah.
And he says there's not a day goes by where I don't move a piece. And I
At
thought
least
to
one.
myself,
Yeah.
right, I don't know, yeah, I don't understand chess, and I don't really play chess, but like surely in that many years, if you're moving a piece every day, surely you get to the point where there'd be some sort of checkmate. Like, what are you doing? Are you just moving one piece back and forward all the time? Like, how is it taking you that long if you're moving a piece every day? So that was confusing. But after I got over that, I started to just get into it. I did feel like I could see when it first showed that he had the money stashed at the railway tracks. And he just sat there and he's like just looking out. And he says to his friend Chucky as well when he takes him down there, he's like, "I like to come here because it's quiet and stuff like." I could see what story they were trying to tell them, but unfortunately, they just were just throwing it in all sorts of directions because, like Todd says, I was finding it really hard to get behind him because he did seem really like callous, and he seemed like he 100% he used his friend as bait to get these drug dealers against each other. But like, why does his friend have to why does he have to put his friend in a situation where he's going to get killed?
Because
I
he
just thought,
wouldn't shut up.
yeah, but that's like if you're wanting to root for this kid, you're not going to root for someone who will just like intentionally get his friend killed.
Because remember, he
Like,
said, "Well, I can't stop him from talking," and it was
Right.
like he didn't even care. He's like, "I can't stop him from talking."
he knew
But
what
he's
was
just,
going on.
He knew that the guy was gonna yap his
yeah,
because
yeah, yeah,
he knew that if
yeah. He did.
if the cops
Yeah,
picked him up, he would
but
yap his mouth.
don't take him with you when you go to plant drugs and stuff like that. And try and set
But
these.
he
Don't take
needed
him with you where he's going to get killed.
he needed the body. He needed a body there.
Well, that's why you can't get behind the kid because he's just callous as fuck. You'll just
I
let
know.
anybody get killed.
Hey, he was playing chess. He was playing chess the whole time.
That's what I'm saying. He was willing to sacrifice any part of that
Hey,
chessboard.
you gotta sacrifice some
I was like,
pawns.
"Dang!"
He was
And
a
like you
pawn.
said, yeah, and like Todd said, he's sitting on the hood of the car, eating his candy,
Cheetos.
watching
Yep.
all these people kill each other. He was in. I think he secretly enjoyed it. And
Yeah.
by the end of the movie, I thought, right, this kid hasn't gotten what we all think he wants, which is like be free of all this drug world. I thought this kid, when he grows older, is exactly what one of the dealers said to him. is you're a smart kid, and when you're older, you'll be in charge of all this. And I thought, yeah, and when this kid grows up, he's going to be a drug dealer. He's going to be the head of the. He's going to be the one running the show. He's not going to get away from that life. So
I think he could.
Yeah, but not the way he acted, not the way he was acting. It just seemed like he secretly enjoyed it. That's kind of what I got from it. So I was confused by it, but it was good. That what I did like though, the one touch I did like was how he's kind of like emotionless all the way through, and then when he plays chess with his father at the very last scene, that's when he like starts like breaking down and crying and showing emotion. I did find that like that was a good touch, and it would have been so well played if they had just give this kid some sort of like humanity through the rest of the movie, where he didn't seem like he was just a callous like backstabbing little shit. If they just played the movie where he's just this poor kid wants to get out of the life that he's in, then that bit at the end, it would have been like, oh yeah, that's the nice payoff. But it didn't. I didn't hate it though. I still thought it was a good movie, and I still liked liked the acting. And like you were saying, he didn't have a best friend, and obviously his father was his best friend because that's the only person he was normal with. Even he wasn't normal with his sister.
I don't even think that it's that's who he was normal with. I think it was more like he knew that was his blood and his sister was his blood, and that's all that he wanted to care about. And by him knowing that he wasn't going to see his father again because he was going to be basically going into witness protection with his sister, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. That could be, also part of the reason.
Yeah, I didn't even think about the witness protection, but
he gave it all up for that. He didn't want to have any other ties left, there.
Yeah. And now that you say that, and it's just popped into my head this second, I feel like maybe he was crying at the end because, like, through the movie, every time he goes to play chess with his dad, Samuel L. Jackson's character is trying to teach him to be a man, and he's giving him all this like. I mean, he's talking in terms of chess, but he's still like teaching his son how to be good, like a man. And I feel like he's crying at the end because he feels like he let him down, or he's got I done some stuff that obviously done stuff that his dad wouldn't be proud of, and obviously his dad's like oblivious to it, or is he oblivious to it? I don't know. Kind of seems like
that his father's oblivious to it, but his dad's pretty much living on the street too. You know what I mean?
His dad was just
out there, right? His dad's out there hustling.
Because he was like, I've been waiting for you. I could have made $5 off
$10.
But he's not doing drugs. He's not in the drug dealing business.
No, he's not. But it's not like the kid was doing any drugs. He was just doing it for the money to try to get out, and then he had to give it all up to be able to save his sister, so him and his sister can get out, and him know that he can watch over his sister. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
you got to look at what they're living in.
Yeah. No, I could see that. I could see. I knew exactly the way the story was being told. It's just the way it was being told at times. It made it hard for you to care about the kid because of just some of the actions he did. It just didn't make sense to me. But I could understand the story, and I did feel for him at points, and he wanted to get out of that life, obviously, and it was smart move how he played the two rival like drug dealers against each other by saying, "Oh, this guy," because one sold smack and the other one sold
cocaine.
So it was like, then kind of like they knew each other. I was like, this one's doing that, and I'm doing this one, so that I'm in control of this territory, and he was
Everybody
obviously
stayed in their lane.
Yeah. And then obviously he says that he kind of got them mixed and said, "No, well, no, he's starting to go. He wants to start selling smack now," and even though he knows it's your territory, he's doing it on purpose. He wants to get cut
Mhm.
in on your territory. So that was a nice way of playing them against each other and getting
And
out
that's
of it.
and that's why he needed Chucky.
But yeah, but yeah, I
Dan
know, but
Chucky.
Chucky.
I mean, to be fair, Chucky was annoying as fuck.
Oh yeah, he
Like,
was.
that
He was
kid-
annoying.
I was like, who's this kid? He's just like trying to be some fucking guy. And the way he was talking, it's like, oh god, I
Oh,
would have probably
Mhm.
smacked him. I wouldn't want him to
Right.
get killed, but I want to smack him across the head and just.
But hey, but that's why he had to bring him around.
yeah,
You
he
know?
brought him around all right.
Yeah. So, and what you call him, Gian? What's his name? That him, the actor. He's in
Giancarlo?
Break-
Carlo? Or-
Yeah. Oh, yeah, he's in Breaking Bad, and he's such a good actor.
I
He's
thought that was Morris
so
Day.
No. No.
I was messing.
He's such a good actor. He was really good
Yes.
in this. I think he stole the show. To be honest, I think he was. I really like, even though he's a drug dealer, I liked him.
Mhm.
I didn't like him
his
when he was laying with that guy, with that boy's sister, though. That bothered me.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
he was a scumbag.
Right. And you know, more
That's what he
reason for him to try to get away without, you know, you got to think about. I keep thinking about how he set everyone up, and
Oh yeah,
I just thought it was brilliant, you know, on how he set
it was
everyone
good.
up.
Oh no, I 100% agree with that. It was great
Mhm.
how he set them up. I just didn't think his friend
Yeah.
needed to die,
Yeah.
and I don't think the dog needed to die. I didn't get that. But if you can forget those two things, if you can forget those two things,
I think the friend needed to die. Because he needed him as a pawn because Chucky wouldn't shut up about anything. Chucky always thought that he was more
doesn't
than anything.
Chucky's like,
Oh, let me
he's
get.
like
I'm
12
gonna
years
buy
old.
this, that, or the other thing with this money, you know, and that bothered him.
But he's just a punk. He's just a little punk kid that's trying to be like hard and like be impressing his friends. He's not
Right, right.
He's not like a villain. He's not like some guy who's went. He's not done anything really harmful to anyone, has he? He's not gotten anyone.
But he is, because being in the street and sitting and blabbing your mouth to everybody is not what you do. You understand? And so that's why he felt, you know, this guy's got to go, you know, because, you know, he keeps saying that he wants to, you know, be part of what I have, what I'm doing. He wants to be able to deal the drugs, and then he knows that he's gonna end up blabbing his mouth to the wrong person. So why not just set him up to let him blab the wrong thing to people? Put that out on the street where it's not going to affect him.
It just made me think I don't want to be that kid's friend because
you're a pawn too.
Well, that's it. You could be. You don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I mean, that's pretty much all I've got on it before we could go back over and over the dog killing and stuff.
Well, I wish I was a bishop. At least I jumped funny.
I do want to apologize to everyone about the dog.
Well,
but
no, you didn't write that scene into the movie.
No, I didn't. You know, but it's not like I'm for any type of animal cruelty, which I'm not at all.
No,
I love all animals, but you know when when Chucky, you know, basically forced him to go there and fight the dog. I think that the other kid would have just picked up the dog and took him out, but then he saw the other guy that shot the little girl, and I think that's what really made him break, because he knew that, oh well, okay, that other guy was betting on the other dog that wasn't his, and you know, so I think that's one reason why he let that happen, you know. And when this movie came out, you know, it was back in a time when with drugs, you know, in the city was so bad, you know, because people were getting killed all over, you know, they really were, and it just brought me back because I've lost a lot of people to watch them do stupid things with drugs, and you know, I always thought that this was masterful on how they this guy did this, how the director put his feelings across in this, and I think this was this kid's first movie too. I thought he did excellent. The kid was great. Um, but I'm gonna look at my notes here. But I did have one other thing to say. I just gotta take a little right here.
Well, I was looking to see what other
Yeah,
movies he's been in. The Wood, The Corner,
yeah,
Stakeland,
uh-huh, yeah,
um, Jackie Robinson story. I
hmm
look like I'd seen him before.
yeah. He's older now, and I know there was something there that they said he was in that is it the New Amsterdam, the series there. I know I did notice him in that. He's been in a lot of other shows, but his face, I remember him older. Um,
Lots of TV series.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So he's been on a lot of TV.
yeah,
But it's like I'd seen him before, and I was like, I
yeah,
swear I've seen him.
yeah. He's a really pretty good actor. Um, it was when you think about the amount of money that he had saved up that he had to give up, for all that smack, was was insane. And if you really think about, you remember in the beginning of the movie, it showed how smart he was when you remember when he goes over to the house to get the smack from that old Spanish lady.
Hmm.
Remember in the beginning
Yep.
of the movie?
Yep.
Well,
Yep.
if you notice, the first thing he did was he looked at the tracks on her arm. You know
See
what I
if she's
mean?
a user.
Yeah, and he just knew. Okay, you can't. He wasn't taking no shit from nobody. This kid, and for a kid at that age to be able to be like that, that just showed a lot. That showed a lot to me. Um, yeah, you get bigger. Okay, hold on. I was just trying to read my notes here, but me, I can't read my notes because when I take the notes, it's dark. Uh,
But you keep it all dark when you're watching a movie?
yeah, yeah.
You need to
I
watch a
You'll
show where we talk about ambient
take these
lighting.
kind of notes.
I know. Hey, listen, I've been looking more and more into it. I can't wait to get it. What were you saying, Andrew?
So you need to take these kind of notes.
Oh well, I watch too many things, unlike you. Yeah, you
That's,
understand. I
well,
can't take
this
notes
is
in my head like that.
this is
I
this
watch
is why
too
I
many movies.
this is why I let other people talk first, and then it refreshes my memory.
Um, uh, it's a free country. I cannot remember what it was that I said, but I know it was really rough with the dog, and I want to apologize to everyone out there, but I felt it was good acting in this movie. Uh, but I guess that's it for me until everyone else jumps in from the side. If
Yeah, I went ahead and posted a link in here, you guys. If you
yeah,
want to join, more than welcome to join. I'll go ahead and close this off, remove. So I'll
yeah.
move that so we can pull different people. You guys are
Oh
more than
God.
welcome to join. Tell us what you thought about one or both the movies. It doesn't matter. And again, Alvin, I don't mind. I love seeing movies I've never seen before, even if I like it or don't like it.
Mhm.
I'm gonna be honest. If I liked it or not like it, and that's the fun about this show is we get to talk about it, and you can talk about what you like, and I can also listen to other people's views of it, and sometimes I'm like, oh, okay, all right, because like I said, I understood the whole chess part, and then I'm thinking, all these damn people are just chess pieces for that mug, and he willing to lose them all, to save the queen, I guess, his sister. So whatever. All right, so Roger jumped in first. Roger,
it was better than Child 44, though, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
Okay.
10 times better than Child 44.
Okay. Good.
Wait, we got a line. You got like a bar. Child
Yeah.
44. You're lower above.
And the faculty.
Yeah, well, yeah. And I find The Quiet Place someplace between The Faculty and Child 44.
Wow.
In movies, it just had too many. I mean, it was okay, but I was 38 minutes into it before I realized I had on Russian vocal track on it. So, but
that tells you didn't need a whole lot of vocals to know you're already that far in.
Well, my older sister is deaf, so I can read sign language. So I was reading the movie, and it was pretty cool, but when they get to the waterfall and start speaking in English out loud, I was like, wait a minute, why is John Krasinski speaking in Russian? So anyway, but there was just too many plot holes in it. I mean, they had to play Monopoly with felt markers because the sound of putting something on the board could draw them. But then all their hallways still have pictures hanging on the walls, and you get children. I don't know. You guys may or may not have raised kids, but if you got pictures on the walls and kids, at some point those are falling off the damn wall. They're not staying on the wall. And then at one point, a thing popped up and said day 471, and she was not given birth yet, just about ready to give birth. Right. So that means that she got pregnant knowing the situation on Earth. So that made me hate her right away, and him and John too, because why do you bring the noisiest thing in the universe into being that's just going to get eaten by monsters? That's just incredibly selfish. I mean, the dude had a pocket full of 50 hearing aids. You can't tell me that when he was out looking for hearing aids, he didn't see a rubber shop anywhere. Because I guarantee the rubbers are available in the post-apocalyptic world. So it just had too many plot holes for me. The second movie, your movie, Aubin, I liked it a lot more than the other one. The dog scene was a little excessive, but I think the reason that might have been put in is because the director might have been worried that you weren't mad at him enough for killing Chucky, because Chucky was such an annoying little shit that you already hated that kid. Yeah. So maybe they put in the dog scene just to make sure that you knew that Fresh was not a good kid. But I agree with you, Aubin. It was a great plan. It was, an Ocean's 11 type of plan.
Yeah.
With all the steps that have to happen in order for the final outcome to come. And I think at the end he was crying because he realized he was never going to see his dad again once he got into the witness protection program.
That's what I thought, yeah.
Because his dad and his sister are the only two people that he cared about on the entire planet.
Yep.
So I think he was knowing that was the last time he was seeing his dad. That was goodbye to his dad. And Fresh, when he grows up, whatever town that he grows up in, he runs that fucker. when he gets to be 20 years old, he runs whatever city he's in. But that's my take on it. The thriller movie was just too many plot holes for me. if you're 400, almost 500 days into that situation, you're living in a soundproof basement at that point. Especially if you have children, your children never leave the house. It just seemed like a silly movie to me. You can go on to the next one.
Sorry, I didn't realize my mic was still on. All right, so thank you, Roger. Eddie, what did you think?
Okay, a quiet place. Like I'm in agreement with Roger. There was a lot of potholes in it, but it was a I'm saying a fairly good movie. The things I liked. Okay, the sand. You're talking about the sand. I don't think it was sand he was putting on the ground. I think it was ashes from either a fireplace or a stove. Because there was no sand around there, but they had to heat up the house. How are they going to heat up the house? They're going to heat it up with a fireplace or a stove. So they're going to have to get rid of the ashes. So the ashes, they make the walkways.
That just leaves another plot hole because there's no quiet way to cut logs. Zero. I've cut plenty of logs. There's zero ways to do it silently.
Hey, that's a good one, Rutsch. The grain silo, when the boy falls in the grain silo and he's going, usually because grain, the way the granulation of the grain is, the way he falls into a grain silo, he'd be gone right away. The girl, she takes the door and she throws it to him. Okay, I understand he grabs a hold of it. That saves him. Then she jumps in, and then they both of them get on the doorway, and they're being supported by the doorway. But when they both fall off, when the monster comes in, and they both fall off, they're holding it up underneath. Well, if they're holding it up underneath, they should go down.
Yeah.
It's not logical. The only other thing there was no time period. Was it a time period for, let's say, they would have said they've been doing this for, let's say, 6 months or a year. You'd understand a little bit more, but you don't know that. You're like,
how long they were doing it.
How long they've been doing this? Okay.
471 days is at one point before she had the baby.
473
Because it was day 89 when little boy got killed.
Yeah. Also, you don't know where to get their electricity from. He has a whole bunch of computers. He has a whole bunch of other electronic devices, lights, and everything like that. Where's the electricity coming from? They're out in the boonies. They have a generator, or they're tapped into some other source with a long extension wire. I don't know.
There aren't any quiet Jennies. There's no quiet Jennies.
No,
yeah, they're pretty loud.
Yeah. The time period for the baby, I agree with everybody else. How come they have a kid within that certain time period? Like you said, they didn't have the contraception or anything like that. I understand, but that's kind of hard. Okay, that's for a quiet place. I'd give it maybe a pass. Okay, the best one, Fresh. I think Fresh, that guy, that little kid, he was streetwise. He had to be streetwise to do what he did. Because if he didn't, with the people he was hanging around with, he would have been gone a long time ago. Mm-hmm. The money, I don't like. We don't know how much money he had. He must have had a lot of money. Were they giving him $5 bills or $100 bills? I don't know. But with the size of the wad that he had, mm-hmm. He says, he was always adding to it, but he was doing that for a while. Like I said, to do that, he has to be streetwise. What really turned me off at the beginning was when the little girl got shot and he has his hands on her neck and mm-hmm. she's bleeding out. The other guy, I have pity for him too because he was a good basketball player and he got shot because he was too good. Mm-hmm. And the asshole that did it, he gets his due later on. Mm-hmm. The hanging the dog. Okay, hanging dog. That really knocked me out because I'm an animal lover, and I wouldn't do that to a dog. But when you hang the dog and the dog is screaming, trying to, try to get his last breath, and then he shoots it. Holy shit! that turned me off. Uh, the sister with the what's his name?
Giancarlo.
Yeah, he comes from Denmark. I thought he was American or a Dominican. He's from Denmark.
Oh.
I really like that guy. That guy, he's in a lot of good movies like Star Wars, and he was in Let's Call Sal, and he's good. But when I saw him with the girl, it really like I would have put a gun to his head. He was like he was really abusing. You can't go any lower than what he did. So I understand why the kid, he wanted to save his sister because he knew what she was going through.
Mm-hmm.
And the only thing to get him away, either get rid of him to get her on his own so he could really save her. Okay? When he set up the chess game in his house, and he tell everybody else not to touch the game, that's why I said, wait a minute. If he's playing chess with his dad and his dad he knows how he's playing the chess, how to play the pieces, how to sacrifice a piece. That's when it opened up to me. I said, this guy's going to use a chess game to solve his problems. In other words, he was ready to do what he had to do. And it showed up at the end when he had to sacrifice Chuck, when he had to get rid of other people. The chess game was the main piece in that game. Chucky, he was a real wannabe. Wannabe, and he got wannabe. But the best part is at the end. The end, I think, for me, I'm just saying for myself, the end, if you would have watched the credits at the end, there was a song at the end. The song is called The Ghetto by Donny Hathaway. But I thought it was Donny Hathaway. It's not Donny Hathaway. The guy that interpreted it, his name is Johnny Gill. Because
he remade it. Yeah, it was.
He remade it. He made a remake of it.
Yeah.
But when I heard the song at the end, all the pieces fit together. The Ghetto.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, that was a good movie.
Yeah.
Good one, Albert.
They should have used Donny Hathaway's version though.
No, well, everybody knows Donny Hathaway, but I'm saying this version was good for this movie because they had an accent on the end during the song, the ghetto, the ghetto, the ghetto. Whereas Donny Hathaway was doing it by playing piano.
True. Okay.
But damn good movie. Mm-hmm. That's all for me.
All right.
Thank you, Eddie. The Beach. Welcome. What you think, bud?
Andrew, I actually liked your movie. So, mark that down in writing because a few times I've actually said that. Even looking through the plot holes like Roger and everybody pointed out, I mean, what it got me is somebody, myself, spent thousands of dollars on fireworks. When the dad tells the kid, go light the rocket, kid pulls out a big lighter, and next thing is like Macy's 4th of July grand finale going off in the sky. I'll look past it. But no, I mean, I enjoyed it. It was one of those movies when it first came out, people were saying good things about it, and I meant to watch it, and it just got put on the back burner and just forgot about it. And so I enjoyed it. I'm glad I watched it. And once you look by past the plot holes, it's good. Now, Fresh, I was exactly like you, Todd. About 20, 30 minutes into it, I was ready just to turn it off. Because I was like, I just can't do that. I'm like, no, let's watch it. Nothing else going on. So let's keep watching it. It was like a movie for me. It was like a movie of two halves. But I'd never been so happier to see a character killed in a movie than when Chucky got it, than when Carl was killed on The Walking Dead. It's like when Carl was killed on The Walking Dead, once that little fucking I quit watching the show because that's the only reason I watch it. I just wanted to watch him die. So Fresh, he was like you said, he was using everybody. He was playing chess with people, and he was justified to get out of the situation he was in. He just played them all like chess pieces, and he ended up winning the game. Checkmate.
Yep.
The part with the dog, apparently, I thought that he loved the dog when he didn't want the dog to go dog fighting. Take it to a shelter. Maybe it could get adopted, but it is what it is. So there you go. I like The Quiet Place, and Fresh was like the first half sucked. After Chucky died, it was fucking great.
All right.
There you go.
I got to
Yeah,
point
right.
out, You the Beach is kind of proving my point that if he liked it after Chucky died, the dog had to be put in there to make Fresh a bad guy.
You guys are silly. All right. Hey, Shrinking Sharon has made it back. She's had a little hiatus.
Yay.
Welcome
Yeah.
back, Sharon.
Yeah, I had a couple of I think the week before my internet was out, and then last week I was under the weather.
No
But,
problem. I'm glad you're better.
Yeah. A Quiet Place. That movie was it was a good movie. It was an ingenious movie actually. I mean, like Top was saying earlier. I know when it first came out, and I watched it. I had to adjust my speaker and stuff because I thought something was wrong with my TV. I had to restart the movie because it was that quiet. I'm like, what's wrong? Is this movie supposed to be this quiet? And that was really sad. I felt like something was going to happen when the sister had gave the little boy the toy, and he was in the shop or whatever, looked like the little house or whatever, playing with it, and then they left out, and he was first of all, what upset me is when they were walking through the woods. Who walks with their child, the youngest child, as the last person in line? Like, I know, when I take my daughter with me, she's in front of me, she's beside me. She's definitely not behind me, where, I can't catch her as quick. But, of course, that little noise he made, unfortunately, causes untimely death, which was so sad. And then as far as and then the sister, at first I was like, wow, she's just really on it. But, took me a minute, to realize originally, that she was deaf, hearing impaired. And she was just excellent, the sister, through the whole movie.
Mhm.
And as far as them, even before they had the baby, I was like, how in the world, of course, I guess you could be quiet, but having a baby, like Roger said, they should have took precautions knowing, but at the same time, I feel like they had the child also because they longed for the little boy, Maybe that's one reason, because the little boy they had lost in the beginning, which the sister felt like it was her fault. Maybe that's why they had the baby. But like when she was going through having that baby, and I was like, oh my goodness, that's when I probably would have gotten killed.
Yeah.
It was just that silent birth thing was big. And then even after when they had the baby, everything they was trying to do to try to keep the baby quiet and everything, it looked like she's staying in a cave somewhere or something. Yeah, and all the precautions and how to everything they were doing. And then towards the end, even with the sad part where the truck part was, when they was knew the father was going to die, and it was in that truck, and it was just so sad. Thank God, like I said, they didn't show him passing, but you just knew. And it took up. I didn't realize originally neither that it was a sci-fi movie. I don't know the alien part. That was really kind of irrelevant in the movie to me. The alien part, even though those were the ones coming to get it, because it really was like nobody else was hardly living there. It was almost like they was on the planet by themselves. And like Eddie brought up about the electricity, they had a lot of stuff that kind of made noise, even though they had to be quiet. So was the aliens like looking for certain type of noises, you know? But overall, the movie was an ingenious movie. It was a pretty good watch. Stephen King said it was the most ingenious movie that he's ever seen. I mean, for Stephen King to say that, it must be a lot, right?
Wow, didn't know that.
Yeah, he said it was the most ingenious out of all the movies he made. He wish he would have thought about that movie because it's the most ingenious movie. Um, as far as but the movie really wasn't a horror movie though. You never really got the feeling that it was a horror movie. You got a feeling that it was a sci-fi suspense type movie. Fresh. I tried to rewatch Fresh because I had watched it a long time ago. I was really upset when it was horrible with the boy had to go through, and everything growing up fresh. But when the dog scene came, after his friend, which his friend was Chucky or whatever, after he got killed, after the part with the dog and everything, I don't know, I just kind of lost interest in it. But if it wasn't as good to me this watch, sorry, as it was originally when I saw it, and maybe it was originally good because of the other movies that was around.
All right,
I don't
so
know.
Sharon, let me ask this question. So, did you watch it back in the 90s and then watch it recently, or did you watch it recently and then rewatch
Actually,
it?
I watched it like in the beginning of the 2000s. I didn't watch it when it first came
Okay.
out. I was just watching a whole bunch of movies like it was out around that time, like South Central and Minister Society and stuff. And I was just binge watching all them type of movies around that time when I first saw it. And so I think that one part, even with the little boy, I was gonna say, even the part with the dog and stuff, maybe it was, like you said, but it's because of them times. Times were so rough, then and everything. I don't know. So that's my take on the movies.
All right. Thank you, Sharon. I'll go ahead. We're gonna throw the out there to everyone. Put play or pass for both the movies. Just kind of, you can put a little blurb, which movie, and play or pass. And I'm gonna go through we'll go through the panel first. And we did The Quiet Place first, so I'm gonna ask that question first of each of the panel members. So, Sharon, play or pass for A Quiet Place? What would you give if someone had never seen it?
I would give it a pass because
Okay.
I think the movie was pretty good in general.
Wait. You said it's pretty good. So is that a play or is it a pass?
It's a play. It's a play. I mean,
Okay, all right.
I'm gonna play. It's a play.
Okay.
Oh.
All right. That's to make. I gotta mark it down
It's
here.
good to
So,
see. It's good to see she's still getting confused.
gotta love you, Sharon. All right. So I'm gonna go over here to Roger. Roger, play or pass for A Quiet Place?
I really didn't like it, and I wouldn't recommend it to anybody. You guys liked it a lot more than me, but for me, it's a pass.
That's good. Hey, don't regret what you think. I mean, and again, for you guys on the side chat, put play or pass. We'll go through The Quiet Place. Eddie, play or pass for A Quiet Place?
For a Quiet Place, I give it a very soft play. Very soft.
Okay, so this still gets a play. We'll put it down in for that. The Beach, play or pass on A Quiet Place?
It's a play.
You got it a play. All right. Andrew, play or pass on A Quiet Place?
You old guys, you old guys, not appreciating modern cinematic genius. It's obviously a play.
Modern
Hey, I
cinematic.
give it a play.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah,
So,
but
Alvin,
you give me half.
play or pass for Quiet Place?
I wouldn't say it's cinematic, all that, but it's still a play for me. But it doesn't compare to Scarface.
It's a soft play. All right. And
I
for
would
me,
go-
I'll give it. Sorry, go ahead, Andrew.
I just said I wouldn't know.
Yeah, he went
Yeah,
no.
we know.
He's in. So at some point, one of us has to pick that movie, and then he's forced to watch it. So player pass, I'll give it a play. I enjoyed it again, a thriller movie for me. And as I look through I see Southern Tech Gal gave it a play. Folks, if you are on our Telegram group, we also have the poll put up there. Is it already up there, Aubin?
Yeah, it's already up there.
Okay, so good enough. Play on from Jim on Quiet Place. Patty gave it a play. She also gave play on Quiet Place. It's weird how all of a sudden all the chat just popped up for me. Dalton gave it a play. So, okay, so we got that. So I'll go through and we're going to allow the panel members to discuss Fresh. And we'll go ahead. We'll start back here at the bottom. Shrinking Sharon, what did you think, play or pass for Fresh?
I'll give Fresh a soft play because I probably need to watch it again the third time. It was good when I originally watched it, like around the beginning of the 2000s. It was very good. It's just that when I watched it this time, it wasn't as good, or maybe I was just tired. I don't know.
That's true.
But
Yeah, that's true. Sometimes when we're in different moods or different frame of mind, movies are good or bad depending on what kind of mood we're in.
But like Friday.
Yeah, Friday. Yeah, Friday. Perfect example. When we first saw Friday, it was awesome, and then the second time, I'm like, I don't know, or maybe it was the third time. Whenever I suggested it, I was like, it wasn't as good as it was the first time. So, Roger, what did you think?
Out.
I'm a play on Fresh. I think the problem with the first half, 30 minutes of the movie, is other than Fresh, the child actors aren't very good in it.
Okay.
You don't think Fresh was good?
No, other than Fresh. Fresh is
okay.
really good. But the other ones, Chucky and the other two sidekicks aren't very good. And the little girl that gets killed is okay.
Yeah, there's something about her that I couldn't just grab a hold of that. Eddie, what did you think?
I'll give it a play. Super play.
Whoa, no, he didn't.
Thank you.
He gave it a damn super play.
The reason why I give it a super play, because the song at the end, the ghetto.
You all know about the songs. You are about the songs. All right, the beach. What did you think?
Before Chucky is killed, I give it a definite pass. After Chucky's killed, I'll give it a soft.
All right, so if someone said, "Hey, I'm thinking about watching the movie Fresh," you should watch it or don't waste your time.
Watch the second half.
Start the movie, go make some popcorn, get a few drinks, and then go to the bathroom, and hopefully by then it's 20 minutes in, and it's really good.
Chucky died farther 20 minutes in. All right. So, DeBeach. All right, we're gonna go with Andrew. So, player pass on Fresh.
It's funny because when I first went to watch the movie, I didn't know what to watch it on, so I went on Plex and I went on Auburn's Plex because I thought it's obviously going to be on there, and it was. And when I went to play it, it started the movie like at the scene where the kids get shot on the thing. So like the kids are laying there, like the girls laying there, and their legs going like that. I just was like, what the fuck kind of a start to the movie is this? There's like kids like lying dead on the floor.
What?
It doesn't even start the credits yet. And then obviously after about 1 minute or 10 minutes, I realized this link obviously is put us in like halfway through the movie.
Oh,
so I had to find a different one. But I thought, Jesus Christ, this
I don't know why that happened to you.
Maybe it's just the link it gave us.
Damn Plex.
As for a play or pass, I'm kind of like stuck in the middle with this one because through the whole of this show, I've went back and forth whether I like it or whether I don't, and I kind of decide. So I'm in the middle. I'm going to sit on the fence on that one.
Oh my God, sitting on the fence.
A garden fence or a fence around the Capitol in Washington?
Oh my God! All right, Alvin, what do you think?
I'm a play.
You're a play on this.
Yeah.
Okay. And for me, I'm going to give it a pass. I struggled at the beginning of it, to be honest. I struggled to watch it. and then the parts where he gave up his friend, and you can say he wasn't his friend, and that's street smarts that you befriend somebody because he's a loudmouth or whatever, instead of just don't be his friend. I've just not grown up there, so I can't figure that out. So it's a pass for me, because if I suggest this to anybody and they saw that part where he gets his best friend killed, well, his friend killed, and then gets the dog killed too, people come back to me, I'm like, I'm sorry, did you watch the chess part of it? That was good. I mean, the chess part where he was so strategic. Yeah, but yeah, that was a struggle for me. So all right, so we got that. So we kind of have a mix on this one. Quiet Place was not a unanimous play, but it was pretty strong on the plays. Looking at the votes on this, and looking at Fresh was a little bit stronger to play, a little bit on the week on pass. But then when I'm looking through on the side chat, there was a lot of passes. There was a soft play from Daldum. Quite a few other passes. So again, it's a movie that 1994. I also think it's your background. I think that maybe that also shows what we're experienced in life. Alban, who lives in New York, and has experienced different things in life that maybe I have in the areas that I've lived. So different people look at this differently. I do think that the director did a good job in this. Just for me, there was a few things that could have been left out. Just me. But who knows why they put it all in there. So great. Put on, I will ask for you guys to post in Telegram. You have the votes or the polls there in Telegram. And I'll be sure to vote. So don't be getting too excited on that album. I haven't voted yet.
Okay.
No, I didn't. So, all right. So we got that. So we got that out of the way. So Shannon's not here to tell us what we need to pick or whose vote's up. I think my vote is up. And as we look through some of what numbers, we think we're at the beach. I think that it's on his pick. Because I don't know what some of the numbers. So I think that's right. Am I right, guys? I don't.
Today is 4 for the beach. So next week would be his, but I think this week was supposed to be Shan and you. But because Shan's not here, maybe it should be you and the beach.
Yeah, I don't care. I mean, I don't care. I'm good either way.
I don't care.
What's up, Ping?
Hopefully,
as long as the beach doesn't pick me, that's like black and white.
And she's not here to give me, because she keeps the numbers. I used to keep the numbers, but I don't keep them no more because I gave her that. And that was on her. Welcome, Penn. Nice to see you, bud.
Yeah.
Anytime you want to jump in the show, you're welcome to jump. So I think that, and if I'm wrong, I apologize to anybody that's on the panel if I'm incorrect on our numbers. But that was, and let me double check before we go to, yeah, she hasn't responded back to me. I guess she's still vacuuming water.
Yeah.
So that's all good. So it's not a problem. She's vacuuming water. Hopefully the water leak is fixed. So we're gonna go with the beach and me, and then if I'm wrong, I apologize to anybody that's on the panel if it was their pick, and then we will make it right next week. And
the wife will fix it next week.
Yeah, she'll say, "Well, you said it now, and I told you." No, she wouldn't say it like that. So we got two picks. The beach. Do you know what you want to pick, bud?
Yeah, I kind of, sort of.
All right. Look at you.
I figured with the movies we had last week, I figured I'd go with something totally stupid. And it didn't get good reviews on Rotten Tomatoes, but it's one of those dumb comedies, like something stupid, then you might enjoy the film. It's called, in the U.S., it's The Brothers Grimsby. In the UK, it was just called Grimsby. Sacha Baron Cohen, Mark Strong.
I haven't watched that one.
What was it? What was the name of it again?
The Brothers Grimsby.
The Brothers Grimsby.
Oh, I think this is going to be right up Blues.
But
Because I want to say she's seen. Is it the Brothers Grimm
Grimm's.
or Grimsby?
Hold on.
Grimsby.
Grimsby.
2016.
Yes.
Yeah.
All
And
right,
it's
so
just
I'm gonna
Grimsby in the
share.
UK.
I'm gonna share. Well, I'm gonna share my screen, and then you tell me if I'm correct. Is this the right one?
I'm just gonna pass.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna pass on this one just because it's the beach.
There you
I
go.
don't think I've seen this.
Put
I
it this
have-
way.
I've seen this one. Yeah,
It's
it's stupid. It's got some chuckles in it.
yeah.
Okay. All
Stupid.
right.
It's just stupid, and I figured with the movies we had last week, drama and a thriller, go with something stupid. Now I will tell you, Todd, you're gonna have to download the subtitle. I'll give you that right up because it's straight English comedy with accents, and I've known in the past you said you'd had troubles
Yeah. Sometimes.
getting them.
Sometimes.
So I'm just giving you a heads
All
up.
right. All right. All right.
Subtitles.
I can do that. I can do that. So, good point. Yeah, I'll take a look at that. So let's see. So Brothers Grimsby. Now, let me write the Binsby with the BY.
Yeah, I posted it there.
Yep. You got it. You sent it to me, and so we all seen that. All right.
Grimsby.
I'm gonna have to go with my boy
Place in the
again.
UK.
And
Again.
I'm gonna go
Oh,
with my boy again. I'm going with my boy again because, and this is a less known film that my boy done. We know who that is.
I bought the car.
So we're gonna go with.
I hope it's not
you
one of
got
these
the car.
rom-coms.
So we're gonna go with my boy, and we're gonna go with White Boy Rick. I don't know if anybody's seen this.
I've
I don't
seen
think
this.
I've seen it.
this
Yeah.
is not a big known movie. I will say I'm going out on a limb on this. I actually had an Oscar winner that was on deck because Andrew knows I always keep them Oscar winners on deck. But I think that this is a movie that maybe a lot of people didn't watch.
It's a true story too, Todd.
Yeah,
Yes,
it's a true
true
story.
story.
And this movie was filmed actually here in Ohio.
Really?
Yeah, the whole
Really?
movie was filmed in Cleveland.
Awesome. All right. Well, see, this I what I liked about this is that and I thought at first Matthew's in it, so all right, so it can't be too bad. Second, I did like it because I thought I picked this because it's not known. Not a lot of people watch this movie. I think it flew under the radar. We'll see. There's a lot of big actors in this though,
Mhm.
so I think a lot of people will be surprised on this if you've not seen that. We'll see how that goes.
I was hoping you were going to go with Mud when you said an underground one.
Yeah. Mud's on my list.
I love Mud. I love Mud.
Mud's on my list, but I felt like Mud was a little bit a better. There's
That's
more likely
too
to be a
safe.
hit on that one.
Too safe.
Yeah, I felt it was too safe. I thought White Boy Rick. When you watch it, you're like, what?
Yeah,
White Boy Rick. And
I've
so,
already seen it.
Yeah, I've watched it. And I should have went back. Sometimes I'll go back and watch movies and say, oh, I'm thinking about picking this movie, and I'll watch it the second time, or I hadn't seen it in years, and I'm like, no. Because sometimes when you remember a movie way back, it was so much better, and then you watch it again, you're like, yeah, not so much. So yeah, I've not watched this. Thought, you know what? Let's give it a shot. We'll get Matthew. Let's see if Matthew can knock this one out of the park. Let me
You
write.
said this is one of his last movies?
It's not one of his last movies. This is one of his. What was it? 2018.
18.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he did The
Just made it a
Gentleman
couple
after
years
that.
ago.
Oh yeah,
Just
yeah.
made it a
I'm
couple
not
years
saying this.
ago.
It's not his latest movie.
Okay.
It was a movie that he's watched not too long ago, or a couple years ago, but it wasn't a movie that made much splash. You didn't hear a lot of
Okay.
talk about this movie. It was kind of a quietish movie. I mean, you look at the IMDb rating on this movie is a 6.5.
6.5.
Yeah, so it's not. It wasn't one of the high-rated movies, but I thought it was a great movie for me, and so I want to pick that to see what everyone else thinks, and we can chew it up or praise it, whichever one. It's all good. So I'm gonna run through the chat. We'll go through and say goodbyes because we're right at an hour and 45 minutes. Thanks for everyone joining. Shrinking Sharon, anything you want to say or anything you want to promote while you're here?
I'd like to thank everybody for coming out here to Player Pass. I'd like to thank you for allowing me to be on the panel. And tomorrow, yeah, if you're able to, come at 4:30 to Paper Plates channel. We were having our Pieces for Eight show. It's a mental health show for people that's suffering with any type of mental health, with anxiety, depression, PTSDs, whatever it may be. We do shows every Thursday on Papers channel. So you're welcome to come to that. And Monday, I'll be back on the 7 Morning Show.
All right.
Thank you, Sharon. Roger, anything you want to say before we go?
Well, as always, thanks for having me on. It was a lot of fun. Sorry I didn't like your movie, Andrew.
It is what it is.
He's toughened up. Look at he's gotten pretty thick skin.
Yeah.
Everybody else
Eddie.
is.
Hey, oh, whoa. What happened
Who
to
dropped that?
Eddie? I didn't kick anybody. My hands are... Eddie, anything you want to say before we go?
Thanks, for another good 2 hours, and let's keep it up. So everybody keep safe.
Yeah.
Thank you. To Beach.
Thanks for everybody coming on. Thanks, Andrew, for actually picking a movie I liked. I hope the movie you hate, so you can give me a bunch of shit about it. And,
Don't worry.
All right, thank you to Beach. Andrew, anything you want to say before we go?
No, just for giving it. Thanks for finishing 10 minutes earlier than what we usually do.
Yeah, I
It's
know
not
it's late
quite midnight yet.
I'm trying to get you out before midnight.
Yeah.
Mr. Albin, anything you want to say before we go?
Thanks like always. We'll see you all next week. Actually, we'll see you guys Friday.
Yeah.
Yep.
Friday show.
Yep.
I hope you're all there. Can't wait. And sorry about the dog, guys. I wasn't thinking about that part. I was just thinking about the, how he got everyone.
I mean,
All right.
the movie had a lot of good parts. Thank you, Albin. Albin, the thing about with you is you give us movies. You've had some knock out of the park movies, and then you've had some that I don't know about that one. He gives you. I will say about Albin, he picks movies I've never heard of. And how many times I've had to go, what movie was that? Did I hear that right? That is fun because that's what this show's about. It's about learning about different movies, and it's fun and it's a good time. Be it if people like it or don't like it. We don't care. Yeah.
Can I just say as well, the thing I like about doing this show is that it opens your it can change your mind on a movie, especially like if you think like you've watched it before and you don't think that you really liked it that much, but then when you start listening to other people's opinions on it and they start to see their point of view of what they saw in the movie, you kind of like think, oh yeah, that does make sense, and it makes you like the movie when you didn't like it before. So that's what I like about doing the show. That all the different opinions and the way I can just easily change your mind on a movie. And I'm just hoping that next week, that I don't like the Beach's movie, but I've got a feeling I might like it. I'm praying that I don't.
Oh, just lie. Just say if you like it. Just lie and say you hate it. It's the worst piece of shit you
I
ever
will try. I'll try. It's a pass.
Back on again.
I've known Andrew a long time, and Andrew's he's where he's pretty honest guy. You see what you get.
Has anybody had a super pass yet?
Super pass?
Oh no, we didn't know we got a super pass option.
We've
I have a
had
feeling one
plenty super players.
Well, I think Child 44 was a super pass.
Super pass, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Oh wait, hold on a second. Look at who shows up when we're getting ready to leave the show.
Did you guys?
she's waiting till we're doing the wrong choices.
Who was supposed to go next?
Did he come to tell you the wrong choices? What was that?
Did you guys figure out who's next week?
Yep, it's me and DeBeach. It doesn't matter if it was right or wrong. We already
Actually,
committed.
it's right.
Oh,
The
good.
beach just became 4, I think.
All right. So where's Sharon at on this? Do you know?
That was me then. I worked that out.
Hold on.
Yeah, that was Andrew.
3.
Okay. So we're just trying to make sure we're not shorting nobody. So, all right. So
Sharon's at 3 as of this week.
okay. All right. So we're not shorting nobody. I just want to make sure we weren't doing nobody wrong. So
Yeah,
hey,
no,
did
it's
you
the
want to
beach.
quickly?
Yeah, what do you think of the movies?
Did you, yeah. You want to
Huh?
quickly give us a player pass on either of the movies?
Yeah, I'm
frozen?
okay. Thanks, so.
Well, first of all, your internet sucks
guess
right
not.
now.
What?
She lives in Canada.
It's not going to work very. Oh wait, she's back. Okay,
How's your indoor pool?
she was frozen there for a minute. So
Mama, I was on my phone, so I was trying to go and look at the Dropbox is where I have that list. And, yeah. No, I'm
Okay.
good. I'm sure you guys covered everything.
we covered it. We covered it like
Could say it, yeah.
baby oil on a bum. Hey, I had to say that so that Andrew knew what I was talking about. So we got those two movies going on. I'm gonna go ahead. Boom. Thanks for everyone joining. Thanks to everyone that jumps on the show, be it that if you're on the side chat or if you're willing to jump on the show. You like the movie, don't like the movie. That's what this is about. It's not about getting people's feelings hurt if people don't like a movie. It's fine. I think that Andrew is correct and 100% on point about sometimes when you hear other people's opinion of a movie, you actually see it a little bit differently. I truly hated Fresh, like really but then after listening to but then listening to everybody else, I'm like, okay, now I just dislike it.
Yeah.
So I went from really hated to just dislike it. So, but because I understood more after listening to other people's points of view. So that's what this show's about: is to hear you're not right or wrong. There's not either way. Join us on Friday. I don't know who's going to be on. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know. We're going to see where I go. Hopefully, we'll show Blue's ambient lighting again. Maybe we can get her to fix her shit so that her ambient lighting will look better.
Well, she needs your TV.
She needs my TV. And actually, I will say this to y'all. I got a message from, and I can't remember who it was, and I can't look it up right now. And he told me to look up Hyperdon programming. Huh?
Hyperion.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you, honey. So I actually looked that up. I can run it on my Raspberry Pi. I can set that up on my setup for about $60. Whereas she spent more than that. I can set mine up hopefully with about $60. So I'm actually really close and maybe pulling the trigger on that and getting it and setting it up.
But $60 for what? That's not for the lights.
No, that's everything. That's the whole setup. $60.
No kidding.
Not counting the Raspberry Pi because I already own I own 2 Raspberry Pis, so I would use one of them for that. I would use my Raspberry Pi for that. My Raspberry 4 will be my retro gaming. But I posted some links in Streaming Matters, and there's some videos on it that it's not really hard. And it's doable, and you can do it a whole lot cheaper. So we're going to see how this goes. Hopefully that goes out. We'll see what happens Friday. We're going to have fun. And you guys check out the movies, and we have White Boy Rick and the Brothers Grimsby.
Brothers Grimm.
No, Brothers Grimsby. It's 2 different movies, honey.
Grimsby.
I thought it was Grimm's. I was wrong. So thanks for you guys joining, and we'll see you on the next play.